You've been scanning Zillow, you're out there showing houses, you're submitting offers, maybe even felt that heartbreak of missing out on a house that you absolutely love. Then it finally happens. Your offer is accepted. If you're a real estate agent or somebody buying a house and your offer just got accepted, you might be thinking, now what? Going under contract is a very exciting part of the process, but it can also be a little bit overwhelming at times. I'm going to take you through step by step what happens after you go under contract. Just a little disclaimer, I'm an agent here in Florida, so if you live in a different state, this process might be a little bit different. There's a few things that have to happen on the first day that you go under contract. Number one is send a fully executed contract over to the title company, and then make sure you CC the other agent on that email. It's not specifically the buyer's agent's job or the listing agent's job, but if you do it no matter what side you're on, then you know it's taken care of. Second thing is sending that contract over to the buyer's lender. If they haven't decided which lender they want to use, make sure your buyer knows that they have 5 days to make an application for financing after going under contract. Third thing you have to do is give the title company's information to your buyer, make sure they get in touch with each other, and make sure that deposit gets paid. Fourth thing you have to do on day one is schedule all of your necessary inspections. That might just be a general home inspection. It could also include a WDO inspection if the transaction is going to be a VA, or if they want to get the septic tank inspected or something like mold or something like that. Now, a home inspection has 3 parts to it. It has the general home inspection, the 4-point inspection, and the wind mitigation report. At a minimum, you're going to need to do the 4-point inspection and the wind mitigation report, because those 2 reports are going to be sent over to an insurance agent to lock in your home insurance. Your 5th item for your day 1 checklist is check in with the sellers and see if they have a usable survey. If they don't have a survey, try to find the previous title company that was used the last time the home was sold. They might have a survey on file, and the owner's title policy might still be active, and if it is, you could save a little bit of money there. If that previous title company does have a survey, just forward it over to the new title company. If they don't have one, don't order a new one just yet. We're going to do a couple things first before that happens. Now, by day 3, you just want to make sure that EMD is paid, and that's going to bring us into the inspection period. In your inspection period, what you want to do is wait for all of the inspection reports to come back. Make sure you look through all of them and send them over to your client, and make sure your client reviews all the inspection reports as well. You should especially be checking through the 4-point inspection and looking for any red flag items that might cause an issue with home insurance later on down the road. Once your buyer has seen all the inspection reports, ask them if there's anything that concerns them and see how they would like to proceed. If the buyer wants to request repairs, make sure you get everything written down on a repair request sheet and then send that over to the listing agent via email. You don't want to be sending everything over in onesies and twosies. Just wait until all the inspections come back and send everything over just at once. By doing that, you're probably going to minimize the amount of stress that you put on the other side and have a better chance of getting what you want. If all parties can come to an agreement on a repair request, that means we made it out of the inspection period. If you've been working in a timely manner, this should put us anywhere between 5 and 7 days after the effective date. At this point in the transaction, there's 3 big things that we need to worry about. First thing is getting the wind mitigation and the 4-point inspection over to an insurance rep, and then working with a lender to secure and bind an insurance policy. The second thing you need to do is talk to the lender and order the appraisal. A lot of times they're going to do this on their own, but ultimately it's your responsibility to make sure each of these timelines are met. Third thing you have to do is contact the title company and make sure that a new survey has been ordered. The next major item is waiting for the appraisal to come back. You can check in with the lender periodically to find out the status of the appraisal, but as soon as that number comes back, make sure the other agent is in the loop. If you're representing the buyer and the appraisal comes in at or above the contract price, just tell the listing agent, hey, appraisal came back and it's at full value. If the appraisal is low, both parties might need to do some negotiating to come to a new agreement. You really need to treat this step with care, because canceling at this point will be pretty expensive for both parties. Keep in mind, if there's an appraisal contingency or if you're inside the financing contingency window, a cancellation from a low appraisal is usually going to result in the deposit going back to the buyer. Now, this is normally at 30 days, but every contract is going to be a little bit different. Before the expiration of the financing contingency window, you need to make sure that your buyer is fully approved for financing. If they're not fully approved before that financing contingency expires, make sure you request an extension, or you might be putting your buyer at risk in the off chance that the deal falls apart. Then 10 days before closing, you want to schedule a time for your client to close with the title company. Make sure all your paperwork is in order. You want to have the sellers call the utility companies and schedule a stop date for closing day. Then you want to have your buyers call the utility companies and set up a start date for closing day as well. Then 1 to 3 days before closing, have your buyer do a final walkthrough on the property and make sure that everything is in acceptable condition to transfer ownership to the buyers. Then you're done, baby. You did it. If you'd like to see more real estate related guides like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel and let me know down in the comments what the most confusing part of the home buying process is for you.